Our first orientation session. I'm Professor Roberto Diniz.
And I'm Julio Souza.
We're coordinators of the programs held here in Brazil. We are here today to provide you with some useful information about the programs Strategy Marketing for Emerging Countries, Agribusiness in Brazil, Survival Portuguese, and Business Etiquette for both July and August groups. If you want to ask us questions, please contact us through the YouTube chat, and your questions will be answered at the end of the presentation. Okay? Let us start the presentation talking about our agenda. Our agenda seems to be really big, but we'll try to be as concise as possible. Okay? Basically, we will talk about our school, the structure of the program. This includes dates, venue, schedule. Then we will be talking about the travel preparation. We will be dealing with some important items such as insurance and documents that will make your travel to Brazil easy. And finally, we will be giving you some information about São Paulo, okay? We will be giving you some hints. Moving on, let's talk about IBS. So IBS was founded in 2003, so we are 14 years old. Currently, we take approximately 1,300 students to attend our programs in the US, in Europe, and also here in Brazil. Okay. Talking about the program, IBS and UNIP are really concerned, we are really focused on the academic part of your program. This way, if you need any help concerning tours, weekend trips, please contact a local agent. Okay. And then talking about UNIP, UNIP is one of the biggest universities in Brazil. It has more than 250,000 students all over the country. The campus where you will be having classes is located near Paulista Avenue, which is one of the best locations in São Paulo. There are plenty of restaurants, bars, museums, malls, so it's the campus is conveniently located. Okay. Now let's talk about the main objective of the programs we have already mentioned, which is the academic knowledge that you will acquire through classes, company visits, and case studies. Okay, here you can see that you can see some details on the program Strategy Marketing for Emerging Countries. Okay. And then here you may see some information about the agribusiness program, okay? And of course, the program Survival Portuguese and Business Etiquette is linked to the program Strategy Marketing for Emerging Countries, okay? Now let's talk about the dates of the program, okay? July groups start on the 10th and end on the 27th. Okay. August groups start on July 31st and end on August 17th. For agribusiness and strategy marketing for emerging countries, you will have classes on the main subjects of the program in the morning from 9 to noon. And then in the afternoon, if you're attending the program Survival Portuguese, you're having classes from 1:30 until 3:30. Okay. All the classes are held at Unip Vergueiro, whose address is Rua Vergueiro, 1211. It's next to Paraíso subway station. We suggest that you arrive 2 or 3 days before the program starts so that you get to know the location of the program. Okay?
Yeah. For the strategy marketing for emerging countries and the agribusiness in Brazil programs, you're having classes from Monday to Thursday. For the Survival Portuguese, your classes are from Monday to Wednesday, because on Thursdays afternoons you will have a company visit. There is also an optional company visit to the Port of Santos on the first Friday of your program and to the University of São Paulo, USP, on the second Friday. We will provide you with more details on the company visits on the second orientation session.
Okay. Moving on, let's talk about something really important, which is the travel insurance. It's really essential when traveling abroad, especially here in Brazil, okay? Because public health in Brazil is not that good, okay? You should send the confirmation of coverage of insurance or a copy of the voucher, okay, to Ana Camargo, You see her email address here until April 15th. Okay, this is really important. It's something that Ana will be sending you emails about all the time, because this is essential here in Brazil. It's mandatory that all students have at least health insurance. Now let's talk about another important point, which is the visa. Most nationalities must apply for a visa when coming to Brazil. If this is your case, we have already sent you an endorsement letter, okay? And also a list of documents for you to apply for the Brazilian tourist visa, okay? You're not applying for the Brazilian tourist visa because it's a short-term program. Depending on your country of origin, the immigration officer may ask you to show enough funds in your credit card, the accommodation documents, the reservation confirmation, flight tickets, okay, and the letter, okay. We have also sent you a link of a video that Professor Ricardo Brito has recorded in order to help you apply and get the Brazilian visa. We highly recommend that you watch it, okay. If you haven't received these materials, please let us know.
Well, moving on, let's talk about something really important in any trip, which is accommodation. You're free to choose where you want to stay. In order to help you, we have given you some suggestions. You can stay either at one of the recommended hostels, Aqui Hostel, Ola Hostel, or Brazil Lodge, or you can stay at a hotel. Aqui and Ola offer some special conditions to our students. Just for you to have an idea, Aqui is 600 meters from Unipe. It is the most convenient one. Both Ola and Brazil Lodge are near a subway station, which is quite practical as well. If you would like to stay in any of these options, you should get in touch with them and mention that you are an IBS student. If you would like to stay at a hotel, we highly recommend that you stay at Ibis. You should book your accommodation as soon as you can, since it will be high season when the programs are held here.
Okay. And we will also send you shortly information on how to make the reservation. Okay, we will send you the details about both hostels and hotels. Okay. So that concludes our presentation. That concludes our first orientation session. Thank you very much for your attention. And now feel free to ask us any questions. Okay, we will be answering them right now. Just a reminder, if you'd like to send us questions, you should use the YouTube chat, okay? We have another program, do we have questions, Julie?
Yes, we have one from Tanaka Mujaya from Zimbabwe. What would be the best way to learn some Portuguese?
Could you repeat the student's name again? Sorry.
Tanaka Mujaya.
Dear Tanaka, thank you very much for your question. Well, that's a very interesting question. Well, there are several ways in which you could learn Portuguese. But one that I would recommend to you is the one that I learned. It's Italian, okay? So when I went to Italy, I could communicate in basic situations, which is an app called Duolingo, okay? This app will help you learn some vocabulary, some essential sentences for you to get by in day-by-day situations, okay? There are also websites that offer Portuguese courses or Portuguese classes for free, okay? You could also do that. And also, you could try to communicate with people who speak Portuguese. There are also a lot of websites that promote student exchange in terms of linguistic development. So there are some websites in which you say, I can speak English, I would like to talk to someone who speaks Portuguese, and this person who speaks Portuguese would like to learn English, and then you can have this cultural exchange. There are a couple of websites that offer this kind of service, and apps that do this as well, okay? But the most recommended one for you would be Duolingo, okay? It's for free. I have already used that to learn Italian. It has helped me a lot, okay? More questions, Julian?
Yeah, the second one is from Rachel from the United Kingdom. Are the company visits mandatory?
Dear Rachel, thank you very much for your question. Well, this is a very interesting question as well. There are mandatory company visits which will be held on Thursday afternoons. Okay, so if you miss a company visit, it means that you will have an absence. But there are also some optional company visits, the ones that Julio talked about, the one to Porto of Santos and also the one to Universidade de São Paulo, USP. Okay, these two ones are optional. If you'd like to participate, you will be more than welcome to do so. However, if you miss them, this does not count an absence, okay? But the two ones that will be held, that will be offered on Thursday afternoons, yes, they are mandatory, and because they are part of the program, these are there will be two typical Brazilian companies, okay? One is Natura, okay, a Brazilian cosmetics company, and it's really interesting, and it's part of the program because you'll also be studying a case about Natura. Okay.
Well, now Kumbulani is asking, do the classes involve any case competitions?
Dear Kumbulani, thank you very much for your question. No, they don't involve competition itself, but they involve business case discussions. Okay, so classes consist of a lecture by the professor. Okay, he will be talking about some theories. Okay, some theoretical concepts. You will also be studying some Brazilian and also other company cases, but there's not a competition. Okay. Maybe you may be referring to the program evaluation. There are no tests, okay, unless you would like to have a transcript issued by us. And if you would like to do this, you need to take a test, okay, because universities require that. Universities require a grade. But students are evaluated through their participation in the classes, through their performance in these business case discussions, and also by a final presentation which is held on the last day of the program. So these are the three components used in order to evaluate our students, but there are no competitions. Okay.
Kumbulani has one more question.
Good.
Is there an academic certificate which is generated at the end of the course?
Yes. There is an academic certificate. Okay, if you have participated in all the activities, if you have completed the program successfully, yes, you will receive a certificate. What is required for you to receive the certificate? You must attend all the classes. The absence limit is 1 class. Okay. This applies both to strategy and marketing, agribusiness, and survival Portuguese. Okay, so if you have more than 1 absence, you will not receive the certificate. Okay, the only exception is if you get sick, but if that happens, please let us know beforehand. Okay, yeah. So and maybe, for example, I don't know if you are attending also survival Portuguese program, but if you are, you will receive 2 certificates. Okay, one for strategy and marketing and the other one for survival Portuguese. Or if you are attending agribusiness, yeah, one for the agribusiness program and the other one for the survival Portuguese in case you are enrolled in this program as well.
We have one more from Sharon Sandy. How safe is São Paulo?
Yeah, Sharon, thank you very much for your question. Well, São Paulo is just like any other big city in the world, okay? There are parts of São Paulo that are not really safe. These are in the, let's say, extreme parts of the city, like the parts that are far from the center of the city, okay? Where the program will be held is near Paulista Avenue. From Unip to Paulista Avenue is a 10-minute walk, okay? This is a very city area. However, just like any other big city in the world, There are some safety tips that we give students. We'll be talking about that in the second orientation session, but we can anticipate that. The tips that we give is avoid handling large amounts of money, okay? So if you are going somewhere, you can use credit cards a lot, okay? And you shouldn't be taking a lot of money. Don't talk to strangers on the street. If you are going out at night, try to go out in a group, okay? And you should be aware because you're in a big city. You know, these are the most common safety tips that we give our students, okay? But the area where the program is held is really safe, okay? Just for you to have an idea, the headquarters of Citibank in Brazil is located on Paulista Avenue, okay? So it's a safe area.
Well, one more from Mr. Kumbulani. What are the most popular tourist sites in São Paulo?
Dear Kumbulani, well, São Paulo is a very touristic city, although Rio de Janeiro is the most non-touristic city. But São Paulo has a lot of entertainment options, okay? So that depends on your taste, okay? São Paulo has a park called Ibirapuera Park. It's the most famous park in the city. It's really big. Students really enjoy going there, okay? There are also plenty of nightclubs in a neighborhood called Vila Madalena. There are nightclubs and pubs, so students really enjoy going there. There is another neighborhood that is similar to Vila Madalena. It's called Vila Olímpia. Okay, there are also a lot of nightclubs there. São Paulo is a cultural city in terms of museums. There are plenty of museums. There is one that is located on Paulista Avenue. It's called MASP. It's spelled M-A-S-P. And if you also, São Paulo is famous for its cuisine, for its multicultural cuisine, sorry. You may find any kind of food you may think of. For example, there are Korean restaurants, there are Japanese restaurants, Chinese restaurants, there are Armenian restaurants, any kind of food you may think of, there will be a restaurant here in São Paulo. Brazil in general is a multicultural country, and São Paulo is a multicultural city. This is something really interesting for you to know because nobody will take you as a foreigner here, okay? Because there is not an ethnical profile here in São Paulo, okay? So there are a lot of immigrants from Japan, from China, from South American countries. Just for you to have an idea, in Brazil, in the south of Brazil, there are cities whose native language is German, okay? So Brazil and São Paulo specifically is a very multicultural city, and you should take advantage of that, okay?
One more question from Miss Cheryl Sandy. What are the cost of living like in São Paulo?
Well, Sharon, that depends very much on your budget. Well, São Paulo is a city for all tastes, okay? São Paulo has really luxurious accommodation, okay? But São Paulo also offers affordable accommodation, such as the hostels that we have mentioned. So that pretty much depends on your taste. Okay, I will give you a reference. An average meal in an average restaurant costs 20 to 25 Brazilian reals, which is in American dollars 7 or 8 American dollars. Okay, but then you will find places, for example, I'll tell you something really interesting. There is Arabian fast food restaurant. There are Arabian fast food restaurants here in São Paulo. Then with $3 or $4, you were able to order a complete meal, like with esfirra, with orange juice, and then you pay $4 a meal. Okay, $4 or $5 a meal. So that varies a lot. Okay. A suggestion that we usually give students is that there is a mall located, it's a 15-minute walk.
Yes.
Yes, Paulista Mall, okay. It has restaurants, okay, a lot of restaurants. There is a food square with a lot of options, okay. And there are also stores for you to buy a SIM card, okay. And also if you'd like to buy clothes, it's also a very good option, okay.
We have no further questions, Roberto. No.
Okay, so thank you very much for your participation in our first orientation session. We are looking forward to seeing you in our second orientation session, which will happen in June. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. See you.
See you. Bye-bye.
Bye.